It's really important to understand that the government's not going to catch all these things. People working for the government, even though the Department of Ecology, where I work, does a very good job, they're limited in the budget, limited in what they can do to address a lot of things. And so as much as they can get help from people during the scoping process to think about where are the connections, where are the places where this law kind of stops and this law starts and there's a gap in there. For instance, the creosote story I told you was actually one of those gaps, and it was actually a very significant one. But it takes people to really kind of think it through. Where's this coal dust coming from? Where's it going? What's in it? Whether surfactants are being sprayed on it? What are in those chemicals? Where are those chemicals going? How those chemicals actually react with the chemicals in the coal. Does it change the bioavailability of the mercury or the cadmium, or all these just possibilities. But I think if you think about this is the way it's supposed to be on paper, and this is the way it really happens in the real world, is really quite different. Who's all going to benefit from this exactly? Well, certainly the coal companies are, and the railroad is, and the shipping companies are. So that money is going into those corporations, many of them multinational corporations. And there are some jobs that are produced along the way. There are not nearly as many jobs as people are thinking. For example, if you look at the West Shore terminal, it's an 80-acre site of coal, and they have Cape-sized vessels that go out of there periodically. That whole facility, and it runs 24/7, 365 days a year, never shuts down. It's all run by 200 people. Now, 150 of those people are mechanics, people down in the pits. There's like in a coal mine, they're black every day, and their suits, fixing the machinery, greasing the machinery, getting the conveyor belts to work properly. 150 people, that's on that group. The other 50 people is 5 groups of 10 people. So 10 people actually run that entire operation. So you have basically a crew of 10 people that can run that whole thing. And they have 5 of those. And they're actually in the process, and every industry will want to do this, is to mechanize it as much as possible, because they can decrease the biggest cost, which is their labor, and increase the profits that go, of course, to the top corporate heads. So they're looking at a couple hundred jobs maximum, and probably less. So, of course, in the construction, there's going to be jobs periodically, but a lot of these are really high-tech, specialized types of things. When you work in the marine environment, you just don't hire regular welders, you don't hire regular. Some of these companies are they're worldwide. They have to bring special tugs and things from Norway. And they actually have to schedule these several years ahead of time to get these kinds of machines, because there's only a couple of them that can do this kind of work in the whole world to be able to build this pier. So that's not coming from Bellingham. That's not even coming from Washington State. A lot of this type of technology and this type of expertise has got to come from other places. And so when you think about a couple of thousand construction jobs, you really have to start thinking, what kind of construction jobs, who's actually going to get those jobs? Because I'll guarantee you, a lot of them are not going to be local. It's actually ironic that the local labor unions are in favor of this without having looked at all the facts. I think the jobs that are actually going to be generated from this are a lot more promises. And I think it's going to be a lot less number and much less available to the local unions than it is to some of these outside entities. The jobs that would be created by redeveloping the Bellingham waterfront, just by itself, that one little thing, many, many more times, much better jobs. Do you really want to work in a coal mine, this is an open coal mine basically you'd be working in? Or would you rather work down doing some light industry or some solar technology job or something down on the waterfront? Those are sustainable, better jobs. And actually, if you think about it, 5 companies with 40 people in it, that's 200 jobs right there. And that's easily attainable in a short period of time without all the impacts, right down there on the waterfront.